Dangertainment. Welcome everyone to the Horror Syndicate's horror movie Massacre, and I just want to let everybody know that Michael Myers is a killer shark in baggy ass overalls who gets his kicks off from killing everyone and everything he comes across. Welcome to the show, and obviously we're talking about uh, Halloween Resurrection, the best Halloween movie of all time, on opposite day. So if you love this movie on opposite day, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff, because it's opposite day. Actually, it's not. But we're going to tear into this one a little bit. Sean has already given us his thoughts, I'm sure. Seth will be with us momentarily. Uh, while not my least favorite of the series, Resurrection is a dumpster fire. The worst of the series. It is the worst, yes. The good way. I don't like Laurie's death. The found footage combined with that's garbage. Early 2000s shit for sure. Buster Rhymes is a dumpster fire. Some good things. Brad, he's not mad. The mask isn't bad in this one. I was thinking about that because I watched it today. 1 out of 5. Not too shabby. Okay. Alex, good to see you. I am doing fantastic. Okay. So anyway, yeah. So 2002, I was looking forward to this movie quite a bit. There was a little bit of hype surrounding it for me because my brother at the time was about 13. Is that right? Somewhere around there, 12, 13 years old, and he was huge into Halloween movies. And I like the Halloween movies, so that was the little bonding thing we had. So this was like the first one that we were able to go to the theater together to see. And it was kind of a big deal for me because, my little brother was getting into something I liked because I always fought and stuff, never got along well. And we were able to bond over this. And I remember we were theorizing things leading up to and going driving to the theater thinking, oh, what's going to happen? Why'd they change the name from Homecoming to Resurrection? All this different stuff. And, good evening or morning. Next week is Halloween H2O. But it was ultimately a disappointment. I remember driving home and we were still theorizing, like, okay, he's still alive, obviously. What's going to happen next? Could they merge the timelines? Could it be the H2O timeline and the Resurrection timeline merged? No, we got a remake in 2007. So I'm going to bring in Seth, and we are going to talk about this a little bit. Seth. Oh, it did it backwards. There we go. Looking a little crispy over there, Mikey. Like some chicken fried. Seth, how's it going, man? How are you doing tonight? Are you ready to let the Dangertainment begin?
It's going.
Yes. So,
of course I am.
Yeah, let's talk about this. I'm excited to get to the slash scores. I know that you hate this movie, and I know we Seth did a ranking of all the Friday the 13th, Jesus, and proving Nate right. All the Halloween movies, like 2 years ago, and it's on the channel. And when he did Resurrection, which I believe was his number 12 at the time, because or no, number 11, because I think it was before uh, Kills came out. Uh, you did a 17-minute long rant that I had to listen to multiple times because I had to edit the video. Uh, I swear you didn't take a breath.
You're welcome.
So what we normally do is let's talk about what actually worked, which is this will take about a minute, maybe two. So what actually worked for you in this one? Let's start positive here. I already mentioned, and Sean
Okay.
mentioned that what worked. One of the things that worked was Brad Loree as Michael wasn't bad, and the mask looked pretty decent.
Yeah, I would say first and foremost for me, the score from Denny Lux, huge improvement over the score from H2O, which was done by John Ottman and Marco Beltrami. I think the score for this one was a lot better. It was a huge improvement. Um, I like Brad Loree as Michael. The mask was okay. There's a couple moments where, like, with the hair, like it just looks funky in certain scenes.
It's
Like
got like a
there's
spike.
times where, like, if I do watch this, yeah, well, it's like I remember being in the theater seeing this for the first time, and I didn't hate it back then, and I just kind of like giggled in the theater because I was like, oh, Lori's getting chased by Ronald McDonald. Um, just with the way some of the lighting
Or
was
some
like on his
2002
hair, like I
douche.
don't know. Yeah, yeah. But like the mask was definitely much better than most of the masks from H2O. I liked the core three characters: Sarah, Rudy, and the other one. I'm drawing a blank on her name, the blonde. I
Katie
thought they were kind
Sackhoff.
of fun
I don't
together.
remember her name.
Yeah, yeah, um, yeah. So those are the things that I like about the movie.
So yeah, I mean, I honestly, I'm not like a. I don't have much to really say positive. I thought going in, I watched it earlier today. Going in, I was like, oh, I still have fun with this one, even though it's really bad. There's some good stuff. There's some bad stuff, and the further I got into the movie, I was like, no, there's no good stuff at all in this, really at all. I don't really even care for the score. You're right, it is a step up from H2O because H2O was kind of a Scream clone with Michael Myers in a way, even down to the score, uh, even down to the direction, really. And in this one, we get
Yeah.
Rick Rosenthal, the director of Halloween 2, right? And
Yep.
I don't know how the fuck he missed the mark so hard. And Sean said something. It's too bad that Mustafa Akkad, this is the final Halloween that he got to see. You know, like
Yep. Yeah.
poor guy. Like the guy who kept this train
Yeah.
rolling for so long. He was left with this one. I don't know that he'd be happy with what happened in the last two or the two after this, but I think he'd be pleased with the Halloween trilogy from Danny. Maybe not the third one, Halloween Ends. We'll see. So, I mean, I'm just probably gonna nod my head and agree with you a lot, but let's go ahead and get into what you don't like about this because this is you. This is I'm gonna agree with probably almost all of this, with the exception of I don't care for the characters at all. The one girl who's not a very good actor who can scream and break things. Not a fan of her. She was just kind of like, you know, wallpaper, and the guy who was obsessed with food, that got annoying fast. And then the guy who thought he was Christian Slater, you know, Michael Myers is the great white shark. That guy was, come on. It's like they took all these characters, in the Smart Girl, they took all these
Yeah.
characters from other slasher movies and put them in a blender, and let's say, hey, let's throw a was reality TV. and live streaming. I mean, kind of ahead of its time, honestly, but at the same time, garbage, straight garbage. I can't wait for you to see my score. I gotta go.
Yeah,
I gotta check something real fast. But anyway,
curious about it.
tell me what you don't like, please. Tell me what doesn't work.
Okay. I kind of want to take my time with this one, so we'll just start off with the beginning. Okay. Just real quick out of the way. I know a lot of people tend to like the guy that knows a lot about serial killers, but like I told you a couple days ago, the fact that he kind of misquotes Halloween 2 kind of annoys me. You know, when he talks
I
about
think he
how, oh, that
misquotes
same night he
H2O
killed
also,
three
by the way.
nurses. Yeah. So that kind of annoyed me. But getting that out of the way, my big problem is with the reveal of what happened, how they explain things away. Now, to understand this, this isn't really a fault of the screenwriters of this movie, as it is. It's about the fault of the team behind Halloween H2O. So, if you watch on the Scream Factory H2O Blu-ray, there's a 2-part documentary, Blood is Thicker Than Water. If you don't have the Blu-ray, those are both available on YouTube to watch. They're very informative about the making of H2O and a lot of problems on that set. Steve Miner, Jamie Lee Curtis, and the people making H2O, they wanted that victory ending for Laurie where the head gets chopped off. But Mustafa Cod, so basically production got halted for a bit, and they brought in
You muted yourself, Seth. Not sure how that happened. He was getting ready to make a lot of good points too. That he somehow muted himself.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 17 minutes. No, it was 17 minutes on the one movie. Go ahead, Seth. You somehow muted yourself.
Something happened where I lost connection for a minute. So anyway, okay. So basically, there was a sort of a divide on how to proceed with the ending to H2O, and the team making H2O, they wanted their ending, whereas Akkad did not want the ending because he wanted the Halloween series to continue. So they brought in Kevin Williamson, and he sort of presented this idea of, well, you know, you could always explain in a way where he switched uniforms with a paramedic, and it kind of like it was kind of like a placeholder. It just got everyone to be like, okay, fine. And basically, Steve Miner and his crew did not commit to that idea whatsoever, which shows with Chris Duran's performance as Michael in the ending of H2O. Everything that happens, I mean, it's clearly Michael Myers. The way he gets out of the body bag, the way he lunges at Laurie, the way he goes to the windshield, rolls over, sits up, the way he stands there and plays chicken with the van. Everything about that was Michael Myers. I mean, it's just stupid to think of otherwise. Not to mention, too, Michael Myers is the Shape, right? He doesn't need to switch uniforms with somebody to get out of a situation. You know, he's killed people for their clothing before to get out of, you know, hospital stuff, but never to the point of, you know, just completely giving his coveralls and putting his mask on somebody. It's a really dumb idea, and it doesn't make sense whatsoever.
Well,
and
like Sean said, just think of the sight of Myers had to get butt naked to change into the clothes of the paramedic. That's
yeah,
funny.
Yeah. So that's the big thing that doesn't work for me, because it just, especially in context with watching H2O, it is so obviously Myers. I mean, if say we did go with this whole crushed larynx thing, he can still pull off the mask, right? He can still communicate with his body language that that you know that he's not the guy that she thinks it is. So it was that is something I've had a problem with. Um, and again, I don't really fault so much the people who made this movie as much as I do H2O, because this came about on the set of H2O, and so they were just
Mhm.
kind of going with that thing to just to just kind of get back into reestablishing Michael and explaining away the ending. Now, another problem I have with the beginning is the treatment of Laurie Strode. So she's never been a dumb character, and they've kind of made her a little stupid in this one. And a big problem with that is, okay, so she looks out the window, she sees Michael, she hides in her room, she sees Michael come in and hover over her bed with a knife, and then she hits him with a light or whatever, and lures him up to the roof. So like, she knows this is actually Michael, right? And she gets up to the roof and she gets him in that trap, which is very convenient. I'm glad she worked out the exact detail where he's going to stand.
The cartoon. It's a
But
cartoon.
then there's that whole thing where yeah, but then he does the thing with his head, which is it doesn't make sense with what they showed earlier in the movie with Michael kind of walking away at Hillcrest when, if you remember correctly, she took the van for quite a ride before they went over. So there's no way he would have been able to see that movement from the paramedic. Okay. Um, but then just the idea where she gets close to him, be like, I got to make sure. It's like, you really think that he switched bodies with, or he switched uniforms with a paramedic and put him up here? No, this is the guy that followed you. You knew that he followed you. So, and it was just kind of stupid, stupid way for the character to go out. I kind of like feel like I think they should have just let H2O be its own movie, and then, because I mean they had no problem disregarding 4, 5, and 6, so maybe just do that again. Just do a different standalone Halloween movie. Of course, I understand where at the time H2O was the highest grossing in the series, that eventually got dethroned by Rob Zombies, and then eventually got dethroned by 2018. But still, they were kind of high on the success of H2O, which is why they wanted to continue.
They
So
got high on their
right
own
off the
supply.
bat, with the beginning, I, I don't like the explanation, because it doesn't make any sense, especially with um, with H2O. Um, I don't like the treatment of Laurie Strode. And then we get into the actual movie itself, and a lot of the dialogue is like horrendous. The whole thing with that one guy who comes into the dorm room trying to tell them not to do it, and he makes that weird noise. Like, yeah, that was terrible. This whole subplot with this kid um, watching Sarah, while he's at a party. I mean, that was stupid.
Hey,
Like, I
hey,
think
I'll be
there's an
right back.
interesting
Okay.
idea there, right? Okay,
God.
so there's an interesting idea there where you have a character who's using technology to give another character sort of an advance, and I think that it is something that could have been handled better, because everything that Deckard tells Sarah is it's like common sense stuff. It's like stuff she would have already known, or stuff she was already doing. Like, it just didn't really seem like that gave the character uh, the right advancement, when it could have been. It could have been a neat idea, and there are neat ideas within this movie. The whole idea of you know filming something inside the Myers house. I mean, this could have been a really standout entry in the Halloween series. Um, Sorry, my throat is a little dry here. So there's that. There's the core group of characters who go into the house. A lot of them are annoying. Some in a, I guess, an okay kind of fun way, but they were just obnoxious. The dialogue was bad. The kid from American Pie, I never really liked him. um, Nothing personal against him. It's just he was annoying in American Pie. He was annoying in this. Um, yeah, I mean, it's just to me. I mean, let's face it. There are quite a few bad Halloween movies, right? There's quite a few bad movies in this series, and out of all of those to pick from, this is my personal least favorite of the entire franchise. It's one that I struggle to watch, um, and it wasn't always the case because, like, when it first came out in theaters, of course, I was pretty excited. You know, I was just a typical fanboy. H2O was the first one I saw in the movie theater, and so I was excited to see another one on the big screen. And I had read one of the earlier scripts for this movie back when it was known as Homecoming, and there are some differences. There's not a whole lot, but there was an additional character who was a cop, and it just kind of seemed like it flowed a little bit better. It also had a different ending too, where, if I remember correctly, it was there's like a bunch of people wearing Michael Myers masks standing outside of the Myers house, and Michael gets out and he kind of like blends in with them, so you don't know who the real one is. But yeah, you back, Ray?
Yes, I am. Sorry. I can't.
It's okay.
Did you get my message?
What?
I sent you a message.
Oh,
I didn't want to interrupt you. So everybody, tell
okay.
us what you think of this movie, because it's obviously we don't like it very much. It is. So let me ask you this, Seth. You think this is the undisputed worst Halloween film?
I'm hesitant on the word undisputed,
Really?
because yeah, well, because I mean, I always view it as, I mean, that type of title really comes from a subjective place, and there are quite a few bad Halloween
Yeah.
movies to choose from. I would say,
Yeah.
in my own personal opinion, this is my least favorite. This is the worst one, but that's in my own personal opinion. As far as undisputed, I don't know, because I mean, quality wise, um, possibly. I mean, I've seen the case where people say, you know, part five or part six is worse. Um,
Mm,
I mean, I'm a huge fan of six, so I'm
I
not
am
making
too. I
that.
still don't think five's worse than this, though.
No, me neither. Me neither. I just think using the word undisputed is a little tough for me because I mean,
Well,
I look
it
at it
is.
from my
Well,
own.
yeah, and I think I posted that on the Horror Syndicate, and there's a lot of people who do say six, and I can see the argument for six, but I still think this is worse than six. I don't think there's this is a creative dead end. First of all, I don't even think six is
Yeah.
a creative dead end. I think you could have gone on from there, and I think the problem, there's a lot of problems with six, but ultimately, I think it's a more fun movie. It's more entertaining. It looks better. It's just it's better. I'm sorry. I know people have problems with him being a cousin fucker, but So is Superman from the original Superman. Oh, I don't have the picture anymore. I have this though. So
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like I would go for I would watch Halloween 5 more than this one. I would watch Rob Zombie's movies more than this one. I would watch even Halloween Ends more than this one. And those are kind of the ones that are typically thrown in the mix as being the worst ones. I mean, opinions vary, but like I
hmm
would reach for any of those other ones before this. Um, I don't even think I watched this last year when I marathon through most of the series. I think I skipped over it, and
I
I
watch it every year, no matter
just put
what.
it in tonight, and yeah, it's my personal least favorite.
Yeah, and I say undisputed also because this is our score, our overall score from our followers. Okay, 43%. The next one on the list after that is Halloween 2 at 44%. And then the one that everybody says is bad, Halloween Ends, is at 52%. So, like, where's I'm looking at the list right now. Then Halloween 5 is at 64%. And the one that a lot of people bitch about, I haven't seen it yet. Halloween 6 is not on this list. Oh, there it is, 71%. So people do like Halloween 6 more and all the other ones more than this one. Out of all of our followers, this is the average score. So that tells me a lot.
Yeah.
Excuse me, puberty. That was puberty. That tells me a lot about this movie. That our
Well, I mean,
followers,
yeah, but I've seen a lot of comments too of like, a lot of people like, no, Ends is way worse, or Rob
yes,
Zombies are way worse. Oh, totally. Yeah,
I mean that I was
absolutely.
watching Halloween 6 when my kids got home from school today because I needed a palate cleanser after watching Halloween Resurrection, and I was enjoying myself. And then at the end it said, in loving memory of Donald Pleasance, and my kids were like, "Oh, what happened?" I was like, "He died while they were making this, or right after they made this," and like, "Oh," and I was like, "And Halloween hasn't been the same since he's been gone." And it hasn't.
No.
And I told him, I was like, he's probably my favorite thing about Halloween. One of the reasons I came back so many times, it wasn't Michael Myers. It was never Laurie Strode. Never. I didn't come back to the H2O because Laurie was there. It was just another Halloween movie. That's why I came back. I didn't come back to H4O because of Laurie. I don't care about Laurie at all. I cared about Loomis. Loomis is what I wanted to see, and after he was gone, I just didn't. My interest level in the Halloween movies is lesser. In my that's just my opinion. I love Donald Pleasance and Loomis, no matter if he's batshit crazy or if he's swigging, with Reverend Sayre, whatever. It's I love him.
Yeah.
Inns is the Godfather compared to this movie. Inns is actually a pretty decent movie overall. It's way better made. I mean, that's for sure. There isn't a single character in Resurrection I wanted to watch, and that's exactly how I feel too. The one character that I cared about, they killed off almost immediately. Not Laurie Strode, the camera guy trying to set the camera angles. And then Tyra Banks is all,
Yeah.
"Oh, look at you with that good camera angle." I'm like, "Bitch, you can see the fucking leg of the tripod in that angle. Tell me that's a good camera
Yeah.
angle. Get out of here."
Yeah.
Uh, Yeah, see, Loomis was the big draw for always the big draw for me. And I know you love Loomis and Nate loves Loomis. I tell you what we're gonna do. Me, you, Nate, and if Jared wants to get involved, and Keith, we're gonna oh, there he goes. We're gonna give our list, our 13 Halloween movies, and Nate's gonna do I'm telling you, Nate, you're doing it. You're gonna push them all together to see what the worst one is from the Horror Syndicate Discourse crew, all of us, because I'm curious to know where it lands. I know number one's going to be Halloween, and two's going to be either two, three, or four, and then Halloween 2018 is going to be in the middle somewhere. I know how that's going to go, but I'm curious where the rest of them stack up. Keith's going to fuck everything up with Halloween 2. I know it. Anyway, Seth might be back in a moment. I think I want him to see my score because I didn't hold back on this one today. You guys know we do our slash scores every week, and I did not hold back on this one. His is higher than I expected, but he has way more respect for the series than I do, which that sounds bad, but I'm not trying to be a dick about it. Um, Ins is too new to get a fair shake. Uh, yeah, I also I think people are gonna like Ins at some point more than they do. Like I said, I think I like that one a little bit better more and more. The further I get away from it, the more I like Ins. All right, let's do some slash scores because I got to get out of here in a minute. Do you have anything else you want to say before we go into the slash scores?
No, I think I covered. I covered my basic likes and dislikes pretty well. I think.
Dude, so at some point I saw a video, and I want to nail down a date with you on this because I want to have a date with you, if you know what I mean. Um, I want to do a where Halloween goes from here video, uh, like live stream sometime the next week or two. So, like, with Halloween kills or ends and all that being over, what's going to come next? I saw some guy who will name a YouTuber who will remain nameless because I don't want to give this guy any credit because he's awful. But they did a video of that today, and I was like, I'd love to have this conversation. So I think we're going to do that as a bonus show. Oh, the bonus show. The show where you like to make money. We make no money.
You want to make,
but I like Pac-Man. I can't help it. A couple more comments before we do. Not the same without Donald. Yes, Loomis was everything to me. He was my favorite character. I'd love to dress up as Loomis one of these years, for Halloween or something. No. I've never had to audibly sigh more than when he comments. I swear to God. Audibly sigh. Anyway, next week we are doing Halloween H2O 20 years later. Couldn't come up with a better fucking title than that. So that'll be next week. And then I don't know. I don't know if we're doing a Discourse show or not. We talked about doing Sleepy Hollow. We'll see if Nate's available for that. And I know Nate's got this production. Teeth. The one scene in Teeth. Oof. Teeth in a vagina. All right, let's do our slash scores. Our slash scores starting off with Seth is 51%. That, sir, was higher than I expected. No comment?
Yeah, I gave the write-in a 2. Well, I'm having a little bit of a glitch here. Write-in I gave a 2. Directing I gave a 4. Cast acting I gave a 5 because I did like a couple of them. Cinematography 4, editing 5. The score I gave an 8 because I do like the score for this one. Production design 7, effects 7, kills 5, and then entertainment 5. This is not one that I watch very often, so I want to reach for very often.
Entertainment or Dangertainment?
The Dangertainment I gave a 5.
There we go.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but that's the dumbest thing.
It's my personal least favorite of this.
Yeah, me too. Wait.
Yeah.
Dangertainment.
There we go. I wanted to play that at least once more. Yeah, it's your least favorite of the series, and definitely my least favorite. So, you ready for my score?
The series, and I just got a lot of problems with it, story wise and stuff. I'm
I don't I don't get his connections sometimes. I gave it a 31%. I really don't like this movie at all. Um, Seth, what do you think of this score?
it's probably what I should have had. I was being way too
Th-
generous.
This is the lowest score of any movie we've had so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just looked. I thought the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4 was lower, but it was 38% for me. So this is the lowest score so far.
Lower
Um,
than Silent Night, Deadly Night 2.
I don't know. I'd have to go back in the annals of the Horror Syndicate, but I think this might be lower. Uh, I forgot about that. That's a brilliant film, and you're trashing Garbage Day.
That's what today is.
Did it? It
Oh,
is for you too.
no, it's tomorrow, but today's the
Oh,
day I have to bring him out to the road.
yeah. Well, today was Garbage Day for me, but
Yeah.
because of the holiday, it's tomorrow. So, yeah. For overall, we give it a 41%, and there's your guy. Uh, Halloween Resurrection just it just doesn't kill. Wink, wink. And it's not just okay. You know, sometimes you're like, oh, it's just okay. It's not. It's terrible. This is one of the worst, if not the worst Halloween film. It's the worst Halloween film for us, for sure. So we can only go up from here
Yeah.
because I know that H2O we're going to give higher scores to. I already know my score for H2O because I rated it after I watched it the other day. And then Halloween 6, I rated the one cut. I didn't do, I did, I watched the theatrical cut today. So, yeah. Anyway, and that's not too far off from our. Do you like that picture, by the way?
I don't like that guy.
I know. That's why I chose that picture. And then
What a dick.
the followers gave it a 43, so it's not too far off. Is there anything else you want to say? Because I gotta bust out of here. Got a midnight
No,
rendezvous.
that's fine. I'm looking forward to talking about the rest of the series from here on out. Because I know I like H2O better than you do. Um,
Yes, but I'm bipolar about the series. I loved H2O the last time I watched it. I know it's like I hated the Rob Zombie movies. In 2022, I was like, oh, the Rob Zombie movies are growing on me. And then 2023, I'm like, fuck the Rob Zombie movies. In 2022, I was like, fuck H2O. In 2023, I'm like, H2O is not too bad. At least I stand firm on Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween 3, and Halloween 4. I love them. 5, I'm lukewarm. And then 6, I love, even though I know it's bad. So,
yeah.
yeah. I ate a girl out to Buster Rhymes. What song was it? It's if it was "Break Your Neck," that's awesome. That's perfection. I may have had sex to Buster Rhymes once because I listened to Buster. I like Buster Rhymes music. I used to listen to him constantly in the mid to late '90s, early 2000s. So, I was actually kind of like, oh, cool, Buster Rhymes is going to be in a movie. And then after the movie, I was like, oh, nobody should cast him in anything else ever again. Like that whole scene with him talking about the fucking karate whatever thing he was watching was like, shut up. He was like narrating everything. Who's interrupting me watching my Chung Li or whatever the fuck it was he said. I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
does he need to say all that shit walking to the door?
Yeah.
Oh shit, Sarah. Like he's narrating everything he's doing. It's like,
Yeah.
shut up. Just answer the fucking door.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all we got for tonight. Unless there's anything Seth wants to say before we go. Sorry for the short episode, but I got a thing.
All right. Have a good night.
Have a good night. H2O next week and Sleepy Hollow if we do a show on Sunday. So H2O, bitches. Oh, one last thing before we go.
Dangertainment.
Do you think do you think that that's copywritten somewhere. Like, could we use Dangertainment? Like, make a YouTube channel all Dangertainment and make it all like found footage camera stuff with like a I don't know. I don't want to do that. I'm just
I
talking
don't
out of
know.
my ass. All right, everyone. We'll see you next week.